Today I feel like doing a little burning. Fueled up the 220, greased it. I've got Mike's weekly supply of Pepsi boxes, some old hydraulic fluid from when we did the cylinders the other week, and some non-taxable government juice, cherry in flavor. That should get the fire going, and I'm gonna take the machine down there. Pond site is way down there in the woods. People can't really figure out where it's at, so I'm gonna take the drone real quick and fly it down there and show you where the pond location is. But the grass is greening up pretty good. That heavy frost and freeze we had around Christmas burned it a little bit, but it looks like it's coming back pretty good now. Let's get to work. So you can kind of see how the pond lays in here with the farm now with the drone video. So the wind is actually blowing in that direction, which means I need to start the fire over there, but it's very, very wet. So I'm gonna start it right here. Hopefully it doesn't get so big. I think these trees are still pretty dormant. I definitely don't want to burn up my white oak trees. So I'm gonna try to start it right here and just see what happens. Surprisingly, that was being a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be to get going. But I think it's going to go now. Need to get on this side of the fire. Don't need the hot embers going all over me. Where everything's just stuck in the bucket. Burn up pretty quickly. Let that catch up, and that should really go away from here. Just takes a little while for it to get nice and hot. Once it builds up some heat in there, cooking pretty good. I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes and see what happens. All right, back from a mild panic attack, I realized I could not find my phone. And in the process of throwing diesel fuel on the fire, it fell out of my pocket into the brush pile, and I happened to find it laying on the ground beside the burning pile, actually in the burning pile, covered in diesel fuel. So I'm glad I noticed that before I just did what I did, because there would be no getting it back. That would suck. So I've got a lot of brush on there now. I've got a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to take the time to go through here and get those picked out, some more dirt knocked off of them, and get those piled onto the fire, because that's what takes the longest to burn, is stumps. So if I can get these bad boys cleaned off a little better and burning some, it'll make me feel better. To pick them up and drop them on other stumps. Kind of knock a little more dirt off of them. It's pretty clean now. Take it, pile it up right here. Throw another one or two on top, then a little more brush on it, and let that burn down. Sometimes it's good to grab like these roots and stuff, small brush, kind of pile it on in between the stumps. It kind of gives it a little something to burn down while it's burning those stumps. Poplar stump. Glad to see dust. Dust means stuff's drying out. I would like for it to be a little bit wetter for me to burn, but the good thing is it's about dead center of my farm, so if I set anything on fire, it's all mine. Alright, I'm going to get a couple of these stumps put on there and then pile some of that brush on. Time to get rid of some more stumps, so I came over here. Fire's been burning down for about an hour and a half. Before it gets raging again, I'm going to grab 3 or 4 of these stumps and lay them over here so I can put them on the fire. So the wind's blowing right here, so I don't want to stir it up while I'm sitting right here, because it'll dump a lot of ashes on top of me. And I really don't want too much of that. So, like I said, I'm trying to get as many of these stumps on the pile and drying out as I can, so they will burn on down. So far it seems like they are burning down pretty good. There's a big poplar on there. Probably another 12 to 15 stumps in there. I did get all the stumps from this side. It was piled up on the fire already. So that's a good thing. I'm going to drop this a couple times before I lay it up on there. And then I'm going to take the stumps that are already in the pile and kind of restack those before I put all those green stumps on there. And what that'll do is kind of help get the fire back going with some already drier stuff. As these have had a chance to kind of dry out some, being pretty much in the fire for the last 3 hours. Round up little brush and stuff that didn't get into the fire and kind of mix that in. Along with all these roots and everything. Just kind of gives it that energy it needs to keep burning. That was one of my stumps I just threw up here. I'm going to pile it up right there. This one was already in the fire, so it's probably dried out some. Get it a little closer. This one I just laid, I'm gonna put it right here. And then this big poplar stump. Stack it right here on top of that. See if I can grab any of this. Now I'm going to get a few grapplefuls of this dryer brush and pile on top of it. That'll get the fire nice and hot, cooking down. Hopefully build enough heat up to pre-make some of those stumps. But I don't want to burn all my brush because, like I said, I still have another 12 or 15 big stumps that need to end up in the pile. So I'll get about half of this. I still have some brush over there. But like always, I'd rather burn the stumps up first and then burn what leftover brush I have up than to have nothing but a pile of stumps and no brush. let that catch up and probably come back over here in an hour or so and well, I was going to pull the machine up there, but all the embers are falling over there, so I figured I'd just park it over here. It is burning really good. I just kind of wish well, I would say I wish the wind was blowing that way so I could get all that without being in the embers, but I'm glad it's blowing that way because all that's mine, and if I set it on fire, well, it's mine. I might have to go stomp some more embers out. I think some more leaves are burning over there, but it can't go but so far. Pit stop on moving brush. We've already set the woods on fire. Actually, we've got several spots burning. Those hot embers aren't no joke. That dead tree will probably catch on fire before it's all said and done. Luckily, everything's pretty wet, but as you can tell, it still has no problem burning. And it's wet down there, but oh god, there's more fire everywhere now. This might not have been a good idea today. I guess we just burn all the leaves off and we don't have to worry about anything else. Everything's on fire. There's fire everywhere. Is this stuff just like completely falling and setting everything on fire? Oh boy. Well, looks like I'll be hanging around over here today. I probably shouldn't throw any more brush on the fire. I gotta go push over a couple dead trees. The fire has set the top of them on fire. One of them on fire. I didn't notice it. It's way up at the very, very top of it. But I kept noticing little spots of the woods kept catching on fire, and I was sitting there standing and I heard a thud. It was a chunk of burning wood that fell out the top of that dead tree. And as you can tell, it set another little spot on fire. But I need to grab that. I'm just going to push them over, and that way they won't keep dropping burning chunks of wood on the ground and setting all these dry leaves on fire, which I really probably shouldn't be burning today, but this machine's got to go to another little job next week, and I was just trying to get something done. I'm gonna have to try pushing that over from the bottom. Timber. That was the one that was on fire. Hence all the smoke coming out of the top of it now. There's another one right here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it while I'm here. That way, well, no. Well, I bumped it and it fell the wrong way. Maybe I can drag it out if it's still solid enough. Come on. That's normally what'll happen, kind of like those the other dead tree on the other burn pile I did. Those hot embers fall in that dry, very dry, like sawdust type wood that's at the top of these, where the woodpeckers and stuff, you know, mess it up. And next thing you know, you have a 60-foot long, or that other one was only about 8 or 10 foot long, tiki torch. everything should be peachy. In fact, I'm probably going to lay these stumps right here on it and let those dry out. I'm going to go work in the cow pasture a little bit and then come back over here, stack it up again. Hopefully I'll be fine now. I think that the embers aren't setting it on fire. I think it's when large chunks of wood off a burning tree fall down. I don't know. I mean, I looked up and I didn't see anything smoking, but it must have been burning clean enough where I couldn't notice it. But I kept noticing chunks of wood on the ground that were burning and setting the leaves on fire. That would be the cause of it. That should do it. Throw some stumps over here. Pile everything up again. Try to stay on the upwind side of all this. Ooh, that's hot. That is hot. So the wind is pushing it through that pile of brush pretty good. To it here, and it'll just slowly burn up. So that big poplar stump broke in half. Let's see what I can get stacked up here. More stumps in that other pile than I thought there were, but they seem to be burning down, so I'm not gonna worry too much. But I'll definitely be back out here tonight stacking it up again to make sure of that. This one right here that's been in the fire, or on the edge of it, just kind of pull it out, drop it a few times and see if any dirt comes off of it. So that's what happens, is it gets so much clay packed in the root ball that they really don't burn. So you gotta let it dry out a little bit, drop it a few times, throw it back in the fire, let it burn everything off. And just keep repeating and repeating and repeating. But eventually they will dry out and burn up. Just takes a little time. It won't burn, not in the pile though. Get that pile of brush right there and lay it on top. That way it'll burn down and kind of keep those stumps fed. go. Now I'll have to pay attention for a little while because all those leaves will probably set something on fire and I'll have to go put it out. But that'll catch up. I'm gonna rake that out and get that closer for the next stacking. Fire's burning down nicely. Haven't set the woods on fire since I took down the dead tree that was dropping all the embers. So I'm gonna go over there, grab a couple more stumps, pile that up again, and throw a little more brush on there. So I'm kind of bored watching the fire burn down. It's in the afternoon now, and I don't know what possessed me to dump the dirt out when I cut the road out right here, but I got maybe 3 loads. I'm gonna load it up and haul it over there and dump it down the path over there. I rode the 4-wheeler down there and got stuck. Well, I got stuck up there, but it's pretty wet down there and looks like a good place to waste some dirt, and I don't know why I dumped it here, but it's in the way. So I'm gonna clean that up, load it up, haul it over there and dump that out. Might go get the D6 and run down there and spread it out. So I'm backing down the property line with this dirt and dumping it down there. I'll probably go get the D6. Got about 2 more loads. Even though it's got the rake on it, it needs to be used a little bit. It's been a couple months since the D6s ran, so, or really done anything other than moving it around. I'll come down here and spread this out and see if I can't push it down the property line a little bit and raise it up. Just trying to build a road down here. It gets kind of wet, and the road is kind of, this area right here, when I cleared it, you know, clearing everything, you end up digging up stump balls and everything. It ends up a little lower than the surrounding area. So you dump some dirt down there. I need to angle it that way just a little bit. You dump some dirt down here and it'll end up, you can kind of raise the ground up around you a little bit. Spread that out just a little bit so it doesn't go all into the woods over there. That'll work. So you can see it's kind of rutted up a little bit. I'll just kind of back drag that down and level it up a little bit. It really needs to dry out. This dirt's kind of wet anyways. I'm just happy that I've been able to get the truck down here this far, because that was pretty wet there before. So got 2 more loads to go get. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'll just have to haul that over here one day and burn it or do something with it. But for right now, it's going to stay right there. And my goal is to get everything I can burnt within the pond site here today before it gets dark. I got about 2 more hours. Old Betty. I would take Betty down there, but I think it needs fuel and some hydraulic oil, and I honestly don't feel like going and getting the truck to put fuel in it right now and dumping $200 worth of fuel in it to move it. Let's see what the oil looks like. Oil is a touch low, but it's fine. It holds a lot of gallons. A couple quarts low won't hurt it. Especially since I don't have any on me. Whoops. But I do know that this is slam full of fuel. I'll let it warm up for a minute. Pont's full. Well, the D6 in the rake is not the prettiest thing to grade out wet topsoil with, but it knocked it down, and as you can kind of tell, I raised that up so that this should hopefully dry a little bit better. You can just kind of see how flat it is, how the water just kind of lays in here. But what I'll probably do is whatever else I cut out for the road, bring it down here and just, you know, it'll dump it out and just kind of keep pushing it down here and building me a path down through here, but leave a little spot right there so that this water that does run off down here can run off down beside the path eventually somewhere, and that should kind of raise this up and keep it from staying so wet in here during the wet season. So I think it's time to go stack the fire up again, and I might be able to push a brush pile over there a little bit to the fire, so we should see. All right, so that took about an hour or so to move that dirt, haul it, spread it out. So as you can tell, the fire pile has once again burnt down some. Restack everything onto it and let it burn down some more. Brush down here, so it's taking a little while to get all this done. I'll definitely have to come down here a couple times tonight and restack all this. Try to get as much as I can of it gone. Has to leave into next week to go to a project. So I'm gonna give that a few seconds to let all the embers I just stirred up gonna go to the ground before heading back for another one. Wrong one. Sure does look better up there without all that dirt slowly working on every time I come down here. Grab a grapple full of brush. Get all that brought down here into the fire pile. Calm down, I could grab that and throw on it, but as of right now I can't quite get to it without being in the direct path of all the embers. Maybe I can just kind of grab a little bit here and there, get it a little closer. That's a pretty good size logs in there that are going to take a while to burn up. Well, I think that's enough. I need to let that die down. It's raging pretty good again. Stacking up the fire one more time before dark. So I made it around to the back side of the pile. I hadn't been over here just because it's actually really wet back here, and I've made a really rutted up mess getting over here, but I needed to get all this stuff grabbed without all those ashes falling down on me. So if I go on the upwind side, I'll be fine. That's where I'm currently at. Stack this up really good, and I'll have to hang out for a little while. I had to put a spot out in the woods on fire to get some embers landed in, but I got that put out, and all is well now. Out of here now before I sink down too far. Let's see if I can just pat these ruts down real quick so it does not become a giant mud hole right here. So whenever I do this pond, I've got a lot of topsoil to put somewhere, which, I mean, this is going to have to dry out, because even if I use this for the back slope of the pond dam, it's so wet and muddy, I couldn't even grade it out right now. What I'm hoping to do is, once they can come move my fence, I've said that about 3,000 times now, they haven't gotten here, I can go in there and dig that ditch down a little deeper, and hopefully it'll pull some of this groundwater out, or this crap will dry out. That is my plan. Calmed down pretty good now. Keep on stacking it on there and getting rid of it. Got a little soot on the bucket there. Well, fire is burning down pretty good now. Just went and got it all stacked up again, and it's nice and hot. Hardly any smoke, going straight up in the air. I hope my oak tree made it. Hope it didn't dry it out too much throughout the day. That's a lot of heat up there, but it hasn't budded out yet, so I guess I'll find out this spring. It's kind of hard to burn this stuff. There's not a whole lot of room to work on this side. I wanted to kind of keep it out in the open so I didn't burn up all those right there. So I'll let that burn down for a couple hours. I'll come back down here after dinner and grab this and that pile right there and chunk it in there, and hopefully majority of that will burn up tonight. And I'll just have to come down here and just kind of push the pile up throughout the week, and it should all be gone. Dang if the old hay fill ain't looking pretty good, ain't it? Just got to admire it on my walk back here. I got to get the 220, shovel it off and bring it out. We'll bring it out and shovel it off up there. Just got to go to a clearing job tomorrow, and I'm going to show you the pond site now that I came down here the other night and finished burning everything. So here's the pond site now with all the brush burnt. So the pond's pretty much going to go about right here all the way across to, get over here behind these trees so you can not be blinded by the sun. There's a flag right there, and then go up there behind that pile and then curve back around. So it'll be a nice little pond. Not terribly big, but still at least a half acre or so. I hope my oak tree made it. The heat from that fire was blowing right at it the other day. I'm hoping it was still dormant enough, but we'll find out. It was hot. It was hot. Only set one spot of the woods on fire. Got that stomped out. Then came back down here that night after the wind calmed down and finished piling everything up. So it's supposed to be really windy tomorrow. I'm gonna leave everything well enough alone and go ahead and take that excavator out of here. So pond site is coming along. It just needs to dry out. It's really wet down in here, and for the 50th time get the fence moved.